Many people ask me what happens in a change facilitation session. Well, here's one I just did with Marlene.
Okay.
So what would you like to work on today?
Well, actually, I was thinking about that. And one of the things that is present in my life, maybe a little bit more so than typically, is this unusual level of there's this fear. And it has to do, in this particular case, because of the upcoming surgery, you know. But I'm finding myself being really emotional.
Now Marlene came to me with just a small issue of emotionality that she thought was connected to the surgery, her knee replacement surgery she's having the following week. She found we couldn't find any clear cause or trigger for these small moments when she would kind of burst into tears or have fear arise suddenly. When something subtle like that happens, sometimes I ask the person to kind of drop into the situation a little bit more, since it wasn't really a current issue for her. She wasn't crying or scared at that moment. So I had to look at the extreme of what's the worst thing that could happen during the surgery or surrounding the surgery. Now at first she just talked about things like pain or just the unknown quality of having surgery. And then finally she mentioned something specific around tourniquets. Take a moment to bring yourself and your awareness into your body, into the room. And then think about the upcoming surgery. And if you think about, what's the worst thing that could happen, what comes up?
There's a part of it that kind of freaks me out, that with the use of tourniquets.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it matters how long they're on. And I asked the doctor about that so that I wouldn't be so fearful of it and I would have his information about it. And, and they have to do it, they actually have to stop all the blood flow.
To the area, yeah.
It has to happen because they've got this artificial thing that has to be adhered to my bones.
We used some muscle testing to check the belief. I will lose my leg to a tourniquet. And we didn't get a real clear answer. We didn't get a yes or a no for that. So I pulled it anyway. And then we moved on. We began to talk about her preparations for the surgery, looking around to see if there was anything else that could be causing this sudden emotionality. And what I found was that she was very well prepared for this surgery, both emotionally and physically. I also learned that she has a strong connection to both her father and her grandmother, who are deceased, and she was relying on them as allies to be there with her during the surgery. That's where I thought there might be some sort of emotional connection to what she was experiencing and her deceased relatives. I mean, I can feel like your vibration's really clear. I get a sense of, like you're saying, that there's maybe something, like when we're doing the tourniquet thing, I actually got a lot of fear coming up and something like soldier tourniquet, and I'm wondering if it's not your grandmother's.
Oh.
Around that.
Well, when you were just speaking now, I had a particular feeling when you mentioned, you were talking about my grandmother and then you mentioned my father. I thought, well, my father was in battle. He was in the war, and I don't know, I have no idea what his experience was about that. I was too young. And, I was still young when he passed away, very young. So, I don't know if that might be...
It could be his fear, somebody's fear. So if we've got his fears... We decided to do some muscle testing to test the hypothesis. And this is what we found.
Okay.
So with this one, we're going to face this way.
All right.
North usually works pretty well. And just close your eyes and feel yourself gently come to center, balanced. And then usually the body works like a pendulum, so if you have your eyes closed and you say yes, you'll move forward. And then say no, and usually fall back. See how that works. So
okay,
say
I think
yes.
I need to move away from this
couch a little bit.
Saying yes.
And which way do you go?
That way.
Okay, with a no?
No. Oh, it was like almost like, felt like a pull.
So say I'm able to discern my father's truth from my own truth.
I'm able to discern my father's truth truth from my own truth.
Yes, no, maybe?
It kind of seems like it did a little both, actually.
Okay, how about I carry my father's fear?
I carry my father's fear. Yes.
Okay, would you like to get rid of that?
Yes.
So I carry my father's fear.
I carry my father's fear. No.
Okay, I carry my grandmother's fear.
I carry my grandmother's fear. No.
Okay. And let's see. I'm able to discern my father's truth from my truth.
I'm able to discern my father's truth from my truth. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, because you got rid of the fear part. Let's just check that first one to begin with. I will lose my leg to a tourniquet.
I will lose my leg to a tourniquet. No.
Want to test anything else that might be irrational that might be coming up around it?
Oh, could I be having somebody else's fear besides them? Could like Edna's?
Check it.
Okay.
Carry Edna's fear.
Do I carry Edna's fear? Yes.
Would you like to get rid of that too?
Yes.
The change facilitation work I do is dealing with the subconscious mind. And what we uncover oftentimes does not make sense. It's irrational. But what I have found is that when you clear these subconscious beliefs and blocks, that things change in the outer world immediately. If you would like to know more about change facilitation and the work I do, you can go to dorenaroad.com and check out my website.